Alex here with a high conflict child custody video on guardian ad litems. In this video, I'm not going to have as much insight as people are probably hoping for because a guardian ad litem was never appointed to my child custody case or any of my associated cases, and I went through a termination of parental rights case, an adoption case, writ petition case that was connected to my high conflict child custody case, and a child support enforcement case. So in none of those cases did I ever interact with a guardian ad litem. I actually am a guardian ad litem now at this point in time. I joined the court-appointed special advocates organization in Nevada, specific to Clark County, and I don't know if I want to say the word unfortunately, but my understanding is that because each child in foster care is entitled to a guardian ad litem, and we have a shortage of guardian ad litems, like there are quite a few foster children that don't have one. My understanding is that either for that reason or for some other reason that I'm not aware of, we are only appointed to children that are in abuse and neglect cases. So as far as I know, I keep saying that, as far as I know, I've never heard of a guardian ad litem being appointed to any kind of high conflict child custody or any child custody case, any divorce case, any adoption or termination of parental rights case at all in Nevada. I think that other states, I'm actually pretty sure that other states, for example, I believe Florida, they don't use this system. They don't use an all-volunteer force. I believe they use guardian ad litems who are paid and they're trained and they have like an education. Usually, I think they always have an education. I'm not sure if that's a maybe. And I believe that the parties pay some kind of retainer, and the guardian ad litem basically does the work on their case. And now to go to the actual duties of a guardian ad litem. Basically, the purpose of a guardian ad litem is to do fact-finding and seek out what the best interests of the child are while they're doing fact-finding, and lumping all of that together, put together reports for the court, and ultimately come and testify at court as to what the child's best interests are and what the results of the fact-finding basically brought to the surface. So things that they saw, heard, figured out, stuff like that. It's basically, they're supposed to be the eyes and ears of the judge. As I mentioned, because they only, as to my knowledge, in Nevada, because they're only appointed in abuse and neglect proceedings, I'm not sure what help it's going to be to my viewers on this channel. I suppose there could be some people who are in the middle of abuse and neglect proceedings, and perhaps, I don't know whether they're on the foster parent side, the prospective adoptive resource side, or the natural parents who are trying to get their parental rights restored. I suppose I can offer a little bit of insight into how the guardian ad litems work, which I really just basically already covered. Short of any specific questions that may come up in the comments, I might not cover this topic again. I may cover this topic again. Of course, anyone who has private questions regarding guardian ad litems, feel free to post something in the sorry, feel free to send an email to me. I will go ahead and end on the note that I am aware that in Nevada we do use things like custody evaluators and parenting coordinators in our child custody cases, our divorce cases. Of course, it is my understanding that unlike a guardian ad litem, these people operate more as an expert. Well, in the case of a parenting coordinator, it's more like a judge before the judge, more like a referee. They handle disputes, render decisions, and if somebody has a problem with it, they can get it up to the court. That was parenting coordinator. Custody evaluator, they operate more like an expert. I probably will do separate videos on these two different types of I guess entities, you could say, and how they interact with the Nevada courts. I'm really curious, I think I mentioned before, if for people to go ahead and mention how guardian ad litems work in their state specifically. I'm curious about a few things, such as whether they're paid or not, whether they're trained or not, whether they have any education, and how often they're appointed. And I think I'm also kind of curious as to whether the guardian ad litem in your state requires a retainer to be paid. And the reason I'm curious about that is because I wonder how much of a financial burden it is on parties to fork over. I mean, I'm not sure how much money it is that they have to fork over because, as I mentioned here, we're an all-volunteer force. We're not paid. We just do the job. So yeah, if anyone wants to provide some insight as to how their state works, I think that'd be cool to read up on. And again, apologies that I really don't have a lot of insight into guardian ad litems. I did get some questions on them, so I figured I'd do a video on it and at least cover a little bit as to what my understanding of them is. As far as child custody and the cases, I know I am one, and you'd think that I have a whole lot to say about it, but because I'm only in abuse and neglect style proceedings, and because, I mean, it's not really, I'm not really on the inside as a parent in that situation. And even though I was litigating for 8 years in my own case, I never interacted with one, so I don't really know what to tell people. And this is a video really where I think it would be a good idea to sort of pool everyone else's knowledge or understanding as to what they are on the topic. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and end this video.